Automation will take a look at the specific options offered for text files in the settings pane. Because text files have many different shapes and sizes, the input data for these files have a lot more options. These let you add and remove characters and lines in case you have like a big header you want to get rid of, or really weird characters at the start of your file, set the line width in case you're still working with old line printer data, and so on. It's still important, however, that pages are defined properly. This can be done either by using a set number of lines or using the form feed character, or if your data is a bit more complex, to detect text on the page. Now be careful here because these aren't the boundary settings, they're the page settings. So make sure you're configuring these options to detect each new page, not each new source record. Since we're obtaining data from a database instead of a data file, the input data option refer more to the database itself rather than how to interpret the data. After all, databases all return the same type of information. It's pretty universal. Because a database generally contains multiple tables, here we list them all. Now that our pages are defined, you did delimit pages like I said, right? Boundaries are used to separate each source record. Boundaries can appear after a certain number of delimiters, or pages if you prefer, or as usual through the detection of text in a certain area. If it changes, if it contains something, is equal to something, etc. All these options and their cousins are described in more details in the documentation. Hit F1 to access it. But there's two that are important to know about. These can help redefine the data selection and the text you're comparing to. So if, for example, I misselected the page at the top, making a new selection and clicking on Select the Area redefines the location that's looked at. The other option is Use Selected Text, which simply copies the text in the current selection as the one to compare to.